This is an ancient Greek play. We're continuing from part one. The play is called Medea. So she goes on to tell Jason, after she's trying to spiel her case about how she was really wronged by Jason's affair with the princess. So this is a little bit below line 495. So she says, to the poor daughters of Peleus, I'm sure I betrayed and ran off with you. To the poor daughters of Peleus, remember she convinced those daughters of Peleus to boil the father alive. I'm sure I'd be welcome there, where I killed their father. That is how it stands. My friends at home hate me now, and those I should have treated well, I turned into enemies helping you. For what I did, you made me the envy of all Greek women. With such a marvelous catch, such a loyal husband that I am being expelled, a miserable outcast from this country. Without any friends, alone with my sons, it doesn't look so good for the bridegroom. Children out begging with the woman who saved him. Zeus, you should have given us a touchstone for human nature as you did for gold. We need a way to tell from someone's looks whether or not he's base on the inside. Okay, so Medea is slamming Jason pretty hard for his affair. She's saying that he was so handsome, but his character inside was so ugly. Okay, well, let's go back up a bit. She is not welcome in her own country because of the crime she committed in her own country for a guy. Okay, she has brought this ruin on herself as a character. Okay, if you commit crimes against other people's families and your own and your nation, why would you be surprised that no one wants you around? I mean, they're acting... Other interpreters of this story are acting like Medea is some little victim. No, I don't find her as a victim. The only thing that happened to her was that she's facing exile from the kingdom, and she will lose a status temporarily, mind you. She still could get remarried, okay? She could still fall in love again, but she's now contemplating harming her own kids and trying to commit some type of mass murder on her enemies, right? So, Jason replies to her after this and says, you make much of the help you gave me, but I say that it was Aphrodite alone who assured the success of my venture. You may be quick-witted, but like it or not, I could tell how you were compelled by Eros's sure arrows to save my life. Remember, Eros is the god of love. Think of Cupid. This is Greek mythology here. So they're referencing Greek gods. But no need to tally this up exactly. Whatever you did was helpful enough. Still, it's my view that you got much more out of being saved than I ever did. And so now he's going to dig into her and pay attention to what he's saying to her. First of all, you're living in Greece, not some foreign country. Here you find justice and the rule of law. Force has no standing, and all of Greece knows how clever you are. You're famous. If you lived at the ends of the earth, no one would ever have heard of you. I see no point in a house full of gold or a gift for singing better than Orpheus without the good fortune of being well known. So since you have turned this into a contest, those are the things I accomplished for you. Aha! So, he has a point here, okay? So, she was able to move to Greece, which at this mythical time period, and actually in reality, was an empire, okay? So he's telling her, you weren't really even known before, no one would have cared about you or anything like that, but now that I found that I'm your man, you have become famous amongst the Greek people. You have fame, you have fortune, okay? So she's not just like, like, remember in the previous section, she was saying how she feels like an outsider, she's not being accepted. But here, Jason is telling her, no, actually, you yourself have been benefited from my marriage as well, okay? So it's like they're competing with each other for who helped who more, okay? So we're going to go down to lines around 549. So, you're upset, he says to Medea, but it's not what you think, that I am sick of you and smitten with this girl or want some prize for having lots of children. I am satisfied with the ones I got. It's so well, live well, and won't be in need, and that's important, I can tell you. Everyone steers clear of penniless friend. I will raise our sons as befits our family, and add some brothers to the boys you gave me, bringing them together in a single tribe. I'll prosper. What are more children to you? In my case, having new offspring benefits the older ones. It's that such a bad plan? You wouldn't say so if it weren't for the sex. He means gender. You women reach the point where you think if all's well in the bedroom, everything's fine. But if some trouble arises there, you insist on rejecting whatever's best. So he's focused on right here in these lines saying how his new wife will bring him new children and that he will not reject his sons. So Medea is saying he will reject the sons. She's accusing him of that, and that is one of the reasons why she's mad. But he's saying clearly right here, I'm going to have new children with the princess, and I'm going to have all my children be with us together, and I'm not going to exile the children. So, and he's saying right here, you women reach the point where you think if all's well in the bedroom, everything's fine. So what he means by that is, oh, you think that our relationship is perfect just because we have good intercourse, okay? And that is a very, very common view of many that, oh, well, if you give it good to your man in the bedroom, his eyes will never wander, or everything's fine and no temptation exists, or because I'm good in the bedroom, he'll never leave me, when actually it has a lot to do with personality. It could be finances, it could be affection, it could be a lot more than just booty. So he's pointing out to Medea how that is something that she has overlooked herself, so she needs to really examine that. So we're going to go down to lines 695. So now the character Aegeus, who is a king, is in the scene, and he is single, and he went to a priestess or a temple, I believe, to ask the gods why he hasn't had any children yet, and he's very troubled and he wants some heirs. So Medea sees this as an opportunity. She will speak to him thus. This is Medea speaking to Aegeus. Take me into your country and your house. Do this, and may the gods grant your wish. May you live out the happy life you long for. You don't know how lucky you are to find me. I can take care of your lack of children. I know the right drugs to make you a father. So, Medea prays to a goddess of witchcraft, okay? So, she is already very familiar with the dark arts, and she has committed dark acts, okay? Dark acts and dark thoughts, right? Dark actions, dark thoughts. Obviously, this person has mental issues, and she is not somebody to be pitied, okay? That's my view, and I know many will disagree with me on this. But she's saying right there that she's going to help him have children, and that she wants to, marry this guy, and she will have wealth. And so Aegeus now answers her back. And there are many reasons why I want to help. First, the gods who favor suppliants, and then the children you say I could have. Something I'm really at a loss. So if you can get yourself to my land, I will try to give you proper shelter. I should make one thing plain to you. I'm not willing to take you away from here. If you leaving this place on your own and arrive at my house also on your own, you will be safe. I will not hand you over. But I can't offend my friends while I'm here. Remember, Creon has tried to exile Medea, and Medea begged him to let her stay one more day, and Creon let her. So she, in her free time now that she has left, she went to Aegeus, and like you saw, she's trying to talk him into the marriage bed, and she's exploiting his desire for children, right? This is an evil woman, and she is manipulating him for children, okay? But Aegeus is not exactly 100% fooled. He's saying that she has to pay her way to get to his kingdom, right? And that then they'll go through with the marriage. But he will not help her because that would be a direct assault, an insult to Creon, whatever, and Jason and the new princess who's eventually going to be the queen. And now, but then Medea is very conniving, right? She doesn't just take his word for it. On line 714, she tells him that, now if you could make a formal pledge, then I will feel you treated me perfectly. He answers, you don't trust me? What's on your mind? She answers, I trust you, but Pelea's family hates me, and Creon too. If you are bound by oaths, you can't let them take me from your land. If you just say yes and don't swear by the gods, you might end up being gracious and giving in to their demands. I'm completely powerless. Well, they have wealth and status on their side. Okay, number one, Medea has power, right? She has witchcraft, and she has she's biologically in this story related to gods, okay? Circe is her aunt, and Circe was a goddess, the same goddess of who had Odysseus on his that was Calypso. So, but Circe is another goddess, right? And she isn't just Hecate, this one pronunciation of the witchcraft goddess, but in this story, she often is they speak to each other. Medea and her have like a relationship, right? She prays, and she's not exactly powerless, okay? And so it's really funny how people will make it sound like she's just some helpless little lost poor wife. But eventually Aegeus agrees, and they depart their ways, and he swears the oath that he will not turn her over to any enemies. Okay. And then the chorus says, may Hermes, guide of travelers, speed you to your home, and may you gain your heart's desires. For you're an honorable man, Aegeus, that is clear to me. Now, I would disagree with this. Why is Aegeus moral? He's taking a murderer as a wife. He's taking a psychotic, mentally unstable woman as a wife, a potential wife, okay? And not a decent woman, a woman who has a dark heart and who has hurt many people. So why is that honorable? That's not honorable. Oh, why? Because he'll keep an oath? Okay, but the oath, okay, the oath is that he won't turn her over if the King Creon says, hey, give me Medea, I'm gonna take her into prison. And Aegeus will stand forth and say, no, she's my wife, you can't have her. Okay, so he's, I don't get how that would make him honorable. That one simple oath. An honorable man wouldn't ever accept to marry a woman who has the awful track record of Medea. So I don't get that. But we'll leave that off there. As you can tell, I don't like this story very much. So we're gonna get into it deeper, so in the next video.